So, let me show you my screen. We're going to be reacting to I read all 1,000 pages of the Sinder doc, so you don't have to. Sinder addresses Shiley's accusations and made a major response. So, a quick note I would like to add is I do know that the Sinder document is 1,000 pages, which means it could theoretically be longer than every Lord of the Rings book combined with the word count. And I'm gonna be fully honest. I ain't reading all that. Plain and simple. I'm not gonna read all that. I will do a bunch of summaries, but I'm also not gonna claim to know anything. So, yeah, I will try to give as much commentary as possible, but I don't know where that's gonna be. First one, let me actually drop the link in chat right now, and let's get started with I read all 1,000 pages I read all 1,000 pages of the Sinder doc, so you don't have to, by Vanit0. Let's get started.
So I just read the 1,000 page Sinder document, so you don't have to. Yes, all 1,000 pages I have read here in the past 15 hours of my life. Here are my thoughts. Number one, for the people that will not...
It's a little quiet. I got you. Okay. To be fair, 15 hours is not that bad if we're looking at it from like a book perspective, because she did write an entire book. So that's not that bad, but let's keep watching.
Invest their time in hearing literally everything. The 15 hours of VODs are available on the channel. Please go ahead and watch them if you care enough. But the people that don't care, which is most of you, here's the TLDR. Number one.
First thing, he says TLDR a lot in this video. Define TLDR. What is that? Too long, didn't read. So, yeah.
Nanolist is a lying bitch. Let me explain. Nanolist sat there the entire time saying that she was manipulated by Red and Sinder, only for us to find out with this 1,000 page document with plenty of corroborating evidence that she instead wanted to go ahead and cancel project herself, but then later on when she told Shy Lily, this will be relevant in a second, you know, that she was working on things with Red, that, you know, she felt that Red was making her cancel a lot of projects.
Damn, that's heavy, because Nano was the one that started all of this. Nano was the first document that was released, and I don't believe that this was planned. I don't believe that they all got together and say, let's all release our documents. I think Nano released one, and then whether you want to say that they all jumped on or they got the courage to speak on their own is up to you. But Nano did start the first document. She was the first. So that's huge.
And Shiley said, hey, you're being manipulated, only to find out from our perspective when you go through the document that Nano herself had been saying the entire time that she wanted to cancel these projects of her own accord and will.
So I'm assuming that this is confirmed. I'm going to assume that this isn't just his opinion. I mean, it is his opinion, but I'm not going to say that this is speculation. I'm going to assume that after reading everything and the 1,000 page document, we can safely come to the conclusion that Nano is a lying bitch. Wow. Jeez. She wasn't manipulated into canceling projects. She canceled it on her own and then went to Red and then said Red was manipulating. Damn.
And Sinder and Red had nothing to do with that. Shalili took that and said, oh my God, this is a terrible thing. We should go ahead and tell everybody that Sinder is a terrible person. Making people cancel our...
So, hold on. It was Shy Lily. According to what he just said, Nano was the one that posted it. Nano was the one that was lied to, I'm assuming, Lily, or just lied, whatever, in general, I'm not sure. And then Lily is the one that pushed her to actually post it in the first place. Okay?
Her projects, and we should then go ahead and just get rid of her because I hate her. Why does she hate her? I don't know. Maybe because she's a woman. Women hate women. It's just a thing that they do. And Charlie goes ahead and tells Bao, Buff Pup, maybe 12 other of her friends what happens here in this document, and then they all go ahead and they cancel Sinder. That
is what
happens.
Okay, so Nano went to Shy Lily, lied her ass off, and then Lily told her to post the whatever, went to all these different people, told them about Nano's lies, and then they all jumped on the bandwagon. Is that what happened? Am I getting that right? Let me know if I'm getting that right. That's what it sounds like he's saying, okay?
In a nutshell. Now, what happens in the grand scheme of things? Well, TLDR, we already said Nanoless is a lying bitch. And to be fair, everything is rightfully her fault. I think Sinder is realistically completely innocent here. Actually, the only thing that she's not innocent of is dating Red. Red is actually a complete fucking moron.
So far the two bad guys are Nano for lying to everyone, and Red for a reason that we're going to get to. Apparently he's a moron. Is everyone else innocent? Is Lily innocent? And everyone else, because they got lied to by Nano. I mean, maybe they shouldn't have made it all public and all that, but okay, all right.
And you will find this out if you read the document, because he does nothing but make Cinder's situation worse. And for whatever reason, they broke up, got back together allegedly, and also he then spends a considerable amount of time in this document going ahead and defending the actions that he made that got Cinder in the trouble that she was in to begin with. Now, realistically speaking, he didn't necessarily really do anything wrong, considering all he did was try to be as genuine and nice of a person as he humanly possibly could.
Okay.
Until he wasn't, and he threw Bao under the bus. How is Bao relevant to this? I don't fucking know, but he decides to bring Bao into it and say, oh my God, I don't like this Bao person because of how she treats my girlfriend. Did I mention that? I probably mentioned it.
Okay, hold on. I might, because I've seen some things about this before. I'm not watching this for the first time. This is my second time watching it, and I've seen some other stuff. So, hold on. Besides Nano lying to everyone, Red, he's a complete moron because people start acting cold towards Cinder. So then her boyfriend naturally speaks out about that. And then after that, he talks to Nano about how he doesn't like these people and because of how they're treating Cinder. And then they screenshotted that trying to prove that Cinder and Red were trying to deplatform, or they didn't like everyone else, or like her friends. Okay, I think that's what's happening.
Dating at some point. I don't really know. Whatever. I don't really care either. I'm not going to show you any evidence on screen because you can read the doc yourself. And realistically speaking, you know, he goes into this whole tirade of how Bao is a terrible person. And the document has a lot of, you know, other drama that we don't care about. For instance, how Cinder.
So he did shit talk.
Or maybe Spike copied Cinder. I don't really know. At the end of the day, it's he said, she said in that part of the document. So that's not really relevant.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay.
How Silvervale was slighted by Cinder. That part is actually true. If anything, I think that's the only part of this document where Cinder was actually a very terrible person. Silvervale and Cinder. Silvervale didn't like Cinder, and Cinder in turn eventually just didn't like Silvervale. And I guess Red also didn't like Silvervale because Silvervale didn't like his girlfriend. We'll see that a lot in this.
Okay, so let me keep track about, because this doesn't sound like there's good guys and bad guys. This sounds like just everyone is this giant ball of thorned weeds, and they're all stabbing each other. So everyone's stabbing and everyone's being stabbed. That's what it sounds like. But okay, let me get this straight. So Silvervale sounds innocent, and she was actually slighted by Cinder. So that was Cinder's fault. Red shit talked Bao a ton, and I don't want to say he actually did anything to burn the bridge or whatever the fucking saying is. He actually did anything, but he did shit talk a bunch to Nano. And then there's who else? Spite and Cinder. We can basically throw that entire situation out the window because it's he said, she said, and it's my word against yours, and I guess you can kind of go into it, but that doesn't really matter. It's basically unprovable. And then who else did he mention? He mentioned, I don't know. That's kind of what I'm getting from this. It's this entire thing It's just a giant ball of thorns. Everyone's stabbing each other. Everyone's being stabbed. And nobody's winning. It's a fight and nobody's winning. Everyone's losing.
This document, basically, the TLDR to that is, there's going to be a lot of TLDR, is that Red had a problem with Silvervale for not liking his girlfriend. And therefore, then told Nanolist at one point, oh my God, yeah, I don't like her. But it wasn't really necessarily him saying, oh my God, you know, well, I guess he did eventually say, ha ha ha, don't work with her anymore and we'll pay you, because it's a stupid joke that he was making. And for whatever reason, Nanolist
was a joke
with that and said, oh my God, just look at him. He's evil. Grr, he's such an evil guy.
That was a joke. Okay, maybe he is a moron. Maybe he is a moron because through that, because I've read all the other documents. I'm just not going to read this one because it's 1,000 fucking pages. But so maybe he is a moron because nowhere in there did I catch that as being a joke. That sounded completely serious. He also didn't just mention not working with Silvervale. He also mentioned not working with everyone else though, right? Or like a lot of other people, right? I'm not sure, but okay.
Everybody should cancel him. Look at that. Look at that post right there. He's so bad. At the same vein, Nanolist sat there and essentially kept saying, oh my God, I don't care about Bao. I don't care about Cottontail. I'm going to cancel all these projects. I only want to work for Sinder. I don't want to work for anyone else, while simultaneously telling everyone else that they were burnt out.
Okay, so Nano was willingly canceling projects with other people while simultaneously, in his words, you know, according to him, saying that she was burnt out to everyone, so lying, and also saying that Sinder was manipulating her into doing that, or more specifically, Red. And then apparently he was joking about the exclusivity deals, but I don't know if I believe that. Maybe I just need to read the document. God damn it.
Because they're a goddamn liar. Now, I've been over that part already. I am upset. That Nanolist is a liar. I think Nanolist, at the end of the day, literally deserves to be canceled. I don't think I've ever said that before.
Wow.
That someone deserves to be canceled, but realistically speaking, they are the only person in this document that actually did something that is so inherently fucking stupid and wrong that it made me upset. Well, actually, Shiley did one thing that made me upset as well. Shiley is kind of a catty bitch. Let's just be real. She's actually just like for whatever reason, I don't know why, she's like a very angry woman. Okay, I don't know what type of woman she's gonna grow into. She's probably really young right now, but I see her growing into a very angry old woman someday.
I can see Shiley being ruthless. Like, she's really, really nice, I think, from what I've seen. She's really, really nice. But I could see her being the person that if you wrong her, if you like backstab, she will destroy your career, burn your house down, and kill everyone you know. And then walk away. Like, she strikes me as that type of person, so I can kind of get that.
But right now, she gets angry because she's like, I didn't have a good feeling about Sinder because, you know, she was like being too nice or whatever, which I think is a weird thing to say.
Stupid.
So in the first opportunity she gets, when someone comes to her saying, yo, like, you know, freaking, you know, Red, Sinder's boyfriend, was telling me that, like, you know, there was some stuff going on between you two. Shiley goes, show me the evidence. And then Nanolist makes up this whole thing, right? Gets the screenshots and crops out the parts where she's being a little bitch and sends them to freaking Shiley. And Shiley's like, oh my God, she's so evil, she's so terrible. We need to alert the guards. We need to tell everybody. And so they do. They actually do tell everybody. And, you know, given enough evidence in this document, it would seem that maybe Shiley wrote that document for Nanolist because Nanolist's first language is in English. She mentions that in the document. The only other person who could have
that's a good point.
Her, and the only other person that makes sense is Shiley. So again, I think that Shiley wrote that document and then, you know, made the attack to make Sinder fall, if you want to put it that way. But then I also don't think that.
Hold on. So it's speculated that Nanolist, all those screenshots, whatever, cropped out where she was lying, sent those to Lily, who already didn't like Sinder for whatever reason, and then she was almost she almost amplified it. She's speculated to have written the original document to go after Sinder. She's the one that told everyone. So Nano, so they're both in the wrong. So Nano's the one that lied originally, and then Shy Lily is the one that amplified it and put it on blast for everyone, wrote the original document. Okay. So she was kind of just waiting for this. Again, everything is allegedly.
Shy Lily is that smart of a person. I don't think that Shy Lily did it with any ill intent to ruin Cinder's career or anything. I think that Shy Lily just really didn't like Cinder. And in the first opportunity that she had where she was told that Cinder was a terrible person, she sat there and was like, okay, yeah, let's just tell the world that she's not a good person because I don't like her. But realistically, speaking, all of this was stemmed from a singular lie disbanding to a vein of lies that was told by one woman, Nanoless, who...
Okay. What? Okay, I don't know if I believe that. The one about Shy Lily not wanting to ruin her career. Because I'm going to give my very uneducated opinion. From what it sounds like, from what I'm hearing, Cinder was quickly rising to Shy Lily's level. I'm not going to say that she was jealous or that she was trying to get rid of the competition. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that Cinder quickly rise to Shy Lily's level in business and streaming. Well, not streaming, but that like rose to her level, if not getting closer. Shy Lily noticed this, for whatever reason, didn't like her, and so when all of this came out, human nature took over, or at least part of it, and she jumped at the opportunity to potentially ruin her career. I don't actually think that that's that bad, because to Shy Lily, all of this was real. Because remember, Nanoless was the original one that lied. To Shy Lily, all of this was real. But we can't ignore or get rid of the suspicion that she did this to potentially ruin Cinder's career. Because she already didn't like her. And nobody could ever prove that, or really disprove that. That's what I think happened. I don't think she did that to just tell the world. I think she did that to potentially ruin her career, if not put her in a bad light, because that would stunt her career. Again, I'm uneducated, I know nothing, and if you disagree, everything I said was a joke.
Made an entire friend group turn on each other because of the lies that she told, making it seem as though Cinder and Red were terrible people for, undercutting their friends and saying, oh my God, stop working with these people, when in the reality, Nanoless just didn't want to work with these people to begin with, because Nanoless was burnt out and for whatever reason couldn't take the accountability to tell that their clients they were burnt out, and instead put all of the blame on Cinder and Red. And I don't know why it happened, and it pisses me off that no one sees this and no one's gonna read the 1,000-page document. Which, by the way, why would you write a 1,000-page document?
That's a good point.
Realistically speaking,
that's a good point. I was there when the document was first released. I got the notification. I'm in her Discord. I got the notification when it was first released. Realistically, it was like an hour later. But the second I saw 1,000 pages, the first thought I had was, oh my God, holy crap. And then my second thought was, 1,000 pages? Really? I wonder, there's a small part of me that wonders if the 1,000 pages in and of itself was kind of a stunt. Because it's a very impressive number. It's technically like more like 1,200, 1,300 I've heard. But I wonder if she did the 1,000 pages on purpose for the purpose of having 1,000 pages of proof. Because that's a big talking point, I guess. Like, that's kind of a stunt in and of itself. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but that kind of went to my mind, and I've been wondering that ever since.
No one, and I mean quite literally no one, is gonna read the goddamn thing. It is 1,000 motherfucking pages, and it angers
I feel you, man. 15 hours, jeez.
Me that you would even sit there and write 1,000 pages thinking that people would read it. I read it though. It took 15 hours of my fucking life. And you know what? I am on your side. I really am. I truly am. I am sorry, actually, for saying all the bullshit that I said. I was one of those people that said you should get the fuck out of the VTuber community.
Wow.
But realistically, with the context that I have, unless you somehow doctored these screenshots in the last 5 fucking months, have realized that you were actually kind of a decent person. Maybe you were addicted to Silvervale. Maybe you were addicted to spite, and you know your friends are stupid for attacking some random other VTuber or girl in the ASMR community. But realistically speaking, when it comes to what happened between Nanoless and your friend circle and your friend group, I think you could have been a better friend to Bao. I think Nanoless made your relationship with Bao a little bit sour. I think Nanoless ruined your entire relationship with all your friends. I think.
So yeah, like I said, I don't think most people are innocent. So far, what I'm hearing is that Silvervale is innocent. I don't remember anything her doing wrong in any way. So yeah, like I said, this is a massive thorn ball. Everyone's stabbing each other. Everyone's being stabbed, and everything was started because of Nanoless. You could say it was Red because he was originally the one that shit talked, but I think realistically it was Nano that first lied. And then she took that to Shy Lily, who was already looking for an opportunity to maybe stunt Sinder because she didn't like her for some reason. And she amplified it beyond what we could have imagined. Yeah, it's a fight and no one is winning.
Numi was a very mature person when she talked to you. I think that Shy Lily and you should never be friends and should never try to talk to each other ever again. And Shy Lily, realistically, get a fucking therapist. Okay?
Yeah,
you're a bad case.
Maybe.
To happen. And then outside of that, I think that Tricky, you're great. Numi, you're absolutely wonderful. And
Tricky
Bao,
and Numi.
Please, just take a hug. Just find the nearest person to you and.
Yeah, okay, so Silvervale, Tricky, Numi, and Bao, I can't hear anything about anything that they've done wrong this entire time. I think that they're the innocent ones that got caught up in this thorn ball.
Hug them and hold on to them dearly because I think you need it. And Red, you are actually manipulative. I'm going to say it
really
straight up. Red's manipulative. And you know what? He might not realize it. And I think realistically, neither does Sinder. Because unfortunately, at the end of the day,
I don't get it. What
Sinder has committed in all of this is that she is dating Red. For whatever reason, despite the fact that she cheated on him, they decided to get back together. Despite the fact that she...
Let me just say this real quick. The stupid cheating shit, their personal relationship is absolutely none of our business. The cheating thing shouldn't have even been a thing in the first place. Like, it shouldn't have been mentioned. It has absolutely nothing to do with streaming or her community. Maybe you could say that it makes her a worse person. It was entirely there just to make her look like a bad person in general. It has absolutely nothing to do with us. It should have never been released.
Decided to get rid of him when these documents first dropped initially against her. She got back together with him because I think realistically that she doesn't know how life could exist without him in it. And honestly, maybe that's called love, or maybe that's called a stupid goddamn obsession with the closest dick to you. I don't know.
Wow.
Realistically speaking, I just think that the two of them are very bad, very toxic for each other, and Red has caused more issues in this entire document than is absolutely necessary. In fact, the Geneva Conventions would actually take away their rule set just to put him down. Personally, I would too. And I think, Sinder, you need to be single. You need to learn how to exist on your own. And
through that whole thing, I don't actually understand what Red did. Throughout this entire thing, I was thinking that Red was just this stupid, he's just plain stupid. And because he said that he meant it as like a joke, the exclusivity deal, working with only them, like, don't work with her and we'll pay you. He says that he meant that as a joke. So I thought he was just stupid and doesn't know how to form a joke. I actually don't get why he's manipulative.
Realistically, just enjoy life without Red in it, because he's
I do kind of agree with this.
I don't see it.
Again, it's none of my business.
The future in a world where he makes it better. And I'm sorry that I spent the past 15 hours reading that goddamn document. But that's basically what happened at TLDR. Sinder mostly did nothing wrong.
Okay.
Shiloh-Lee's kind of a bitch. And Nanoless is a fucking liar, and no one should trust her.
Wow. Absolute bombshell. Actually, hold on. I want to show you what I posted in my Discord. Wait, what is this? I've read everything, and honestly, I don't know who is right anymore. I trust Lily. Sinder does have proof. Not on everything, to be clear, but so is Lily. And the other people's in on this. Nano, I don't really trust her anymore. And what we really need is answer to proof of everyone in this god-fucking situation to maybe say who's right, if that's even possible. I don't think that anybody's right. Like I've been saying, I think that this is just a massive, viney, thorny bush. There's Bao, Numi, Tricky, Silvervale. All of them were thrown into this. And they're all caught up in it. And everyone's stabbing each other. And everyone's being stabbed. Nobody's winning. That's what I think this is. Anyways, let's get started.
Part 3 to the whole Sinder document, which just came out, which is over 1,000 pages.
Yeah, I would like to mention this guy's made 3 videos on it. He's actually the guy that made the first video that I saw on this. So, yeah.
Pages long. And if you guys haven't seen it, we've covered some of the introduction and also, you know, where she's moving forward to in the first video that I covered on this. And then we went into the Nanoless page about this entire situation. Now, both of those videos were almost an hour long, if not one of them was an hour long. Right, and it's been a very, very long topic to kind of discuss. Now, this video is going to be much shorter because this one is only 24 pages.
Bro, this guy was up at 5 a.m. posting the 50-minute video. Respect to him, honestly.
Pages long. So this one is going to be about Shiloh-Lee. Now, so far, Sinder has obviously provided a lot of evidence and proof of her interactions with Nanoless, and also in her introduction as well, she provided a lot of rebuttals to many things. And one of the big people that she called out in the introduction was Shiloh-Lee, and saying that she essentially lied, right? Which I think is interesting because obviously, yeah, it's a very heavy thing to obviously call someone out for. So yeah, this page is about Shiloh-Lee. They say Shiloh-Lee's reply to my apology for reference. Obviously, we read through all of this whenever the first situation kind of unfolded, but I've never been close with her. I wanted to get to know her because of how close she was to my other friends. She's someone I've always looked.
Okay, he's going to read a lot of this. I'm not going to talk for most of this. I'm not stealing his content. I'm going to give a big talk when he's done. I just don't want to interrupt him while he's reading unless I have something to say.
Looked up to. I saw her as a role model and as of this year, a potential business partner. I wanted to live up to who she's been for the VTuber community and gamer subs now that I've held the same title. She was the only example of a VTuber in that position before me and set the bar for what a gamer subs part owner is and does. I've never been jealous of her or envious of what she had, and I didn't even see her as my competition at any point. Since October of 2024, Shiloh-Lee and I have been messaging back and forth every now and then in our DMs leading up to the interactions before and during our V-Card collab. You saw in the previous section from the second half of March, she stopped replying to my messages. It's not odd to get busy and miss messages, and I was guilty of that all the time to too many people. But it was out of the ordinary and was going on for almost a whole month by the time I was cancelled. This was alongside her seemingly dodging collabs we were both a part of and off-putting reactions to me raiding her. I became anxious about what was going on in March and April because I viewed her in such high regard. Shiloh-Lee didn't have her own document about me and didn't say anything until after I did, but she was the first one Nano contacted about any of this and was involved the entire way through. Shiloh-Lee pulled everyone together to organize, plan, write, and post the documents that ended in my cancellation, and her lie-filled reply to my apology was the final nail in my coffin. Her actions show she clearly had something against me before Nano ever said anything to her, and she couldn't take accountability and admit to it until I was already in the ground. Charlie said that she wanted her own section, so here it is. And
Okay, so this solidifies the claim that Shiley didn't like her even before Nano said something. This and then this whole thing just kind of shows how Cinder was like looked up to Shiley, and Shiley got cold and didn't like her. Canceling collabs that they were with, yeah. Ghosting. Yeah, so yeah, Shiley didn't like Cinder for whatever reason before Nano said anything. I think the way that this is working out in my head is that Nano lied. Shiley has been just waiting for a moment to do this, or waiting for something to happen. So she amplified it by like times 10. And she's the main driver. But she believed that everything was real for Nano. Okay.
obviously she links, I'm guessing, to like a clip, or yeah, a clip there.
Yeah.
Said, I'll show and explain everything I was experiencing with Shiley for the couple months leading up to what happened. It's relevant to understand what Red told Nano in their messages. I won't be repeating things that included Shiley in the previous section about V-cards, which again, we will be covering that section too in a bit, and this section will pick up right before the release of the game and my collab with her. So it's a V-card launch information. I need to talk about this first because I made a mistake and I knew it upset Shiley, even if she couldn't admit it to me. Red and I were planning my stream for V-card's launch day and asked Game of Subs about Shiley exclusive unbox stream.
Okay, before he even gets into this, to my knowledge, there was three main events that kind of set her with Shiley in this whole thing. There's the V-card unboxing, where she allegedly leaked information that she wasn't supposed to leak, not because she wanted to leak stuff, but because somebody working at V-card or GamerSupps told her wrong information and told her that she could tell that wrong information, so she had absolutely no idea that anything was wrong, and then she was corrected on that information by a V-card employee after the fact. And Shiley got annoyed that somebody was leaking incorrect information and then didn't list Cinder as an official source, even though they're both partial owners of GamerSupps, I'm pretty sure. The second thing is that Shiley didn't properly thank the raid that Cinder gave her. I will have more comments about that later, because that's so fucking stupid. Anyways, the third one is that... what was the third one? The third one, canceling collabs that they were a part of, and ghosting the messages.
To make sure that we weren't stepping on her toes. During my stream on the 31st, I didn't start doing anything V-card related until 3 p.m. EST out of respect for her. Red then gave GamerSupps a list of questions I wrote down for him that my community had asked me about V-card on one of my previous streams. So yeah, obviously this is them talking about it, saying, hey guys, we're planning our V-card launch stream. Is there any restrictions on how and when Cinder can start opening the packs because of Lily's stream? Said, nope, 3 p.m. EST on launch day. The second the boxes come out, everyone is good to go. Said, I think he meant because Lily is opening the packs an hour before launch. We wanted to see if she's the only one who can do that. Said, yeah, she said exclusive unboxing 1 hour launch in her post. So checking with you guys if there's agreement with her or not. That I believe Lily will start that first hour before launch showing off the boxes and binders and deck box and such, and then get into opening them, yes. Nothing will be purchasable on the site, however, until 3 p.m. EST, and said, is that with my code? So yeah, obviously, it said some questions we had from our community, how much will a box cost, how many cards per pack, etc., and they give them the information that. It said, since the questions were asked, were stated.
There's not much I can add here, but whoever this employee is who's been covered gave her information about this and said that Lily's going to start with a bunch of stuff that's not the cards and then go into the cards at 3 p.m. And yeah, that's really it. So I think the main part is this right here. The information that the employee told her. I know that the price is wrong, but I don't know about anything else. Okay.
To be from my community, and I wasn't told that information was confidential and couldn't be shared. I assumed it was okay for me to tell my chat answers to their questions on stream. This stream was the day before the game launch day, and no info had been released on what was going on, how things could work, or what things were priced at. The information I gave made it onto the GamerSupps or VCard subreddit and into Shy Lily's Discord server, both citing me specifically as the source.
Hold on, what was confidential? Since the questions asked were stated to be from my community, I wasn't told that this information was confidential and couldn't be shared. What information? There's no way that this is confidential. This is just information that they need to know or would like to know. Let's continue watching.
To spread stuff before me. So obviously she feels like obviously this was aimed at her due to the fact of she technically was the one that sent out that information, but also they were given permission by this person to say it, right? They said, of course, of the info I gave out on the day, I was wrong about the price by $5, which I was only updated about after my stream ended. The only other thing I advertised that I assumed would be the case but was wrong about was V-cards being available 20 minutes early on the GamerSupps app. All of their drops were consistently like this for a long time, but it was only on V-card launch day did readin.
Okay, wait. All of the drops were consistently like this for a long time.
I find out that they would that this was discontinued. Everything.
Okay, so she was wrong about the price. No, literally nobody cares. It does not matter. It's $5. Advertised would be the case. But was wrong about was a V-card being available 20 minutes early on the GamerSupps app. All their drops were consistently like this for a long time. That was discontinued. Okay, so she was wrong about two things. Okay, a simple sorry, my bad. That's what I was told, and then we move on, okay?
Else was correct, but I didn't know I wasn't supposed to say anything about it. So yeah. This Shy Lily said that official sources, the only ones with correct info, meaning herself and the GamerSupps or VCard Twitter accounts. When someone asked if I was an official source, she said no, I was the part owner now, and I didn't know there was a difference between me and the other official sources. Okay. I was given the information directly from the source, thought it was okay to make public, and
so yeah, no, okay. Shy Lily does sound like she's being a bit, I don't know what the word is. It's not sensitive. I don't know. Sinder was wrong about a couple things. Shy Lily found out, and she said that she wasn't an official source, and so far none of this sounds bad. This whole thing just sounds like high school drama. None of this sounds serious.
Thought I was doing the right thing by answering questions the community had. My motivation wasn't to be the first to share this info. The community didn't know what was going on, which I think is understandable. The community wanted some kind of answers on it. Maybe, this, I think a lot of it falls on whatever this GamerSupps stuff was to maybe consult with Lily and other people like, hey, should we put out something like this and then you make a post about it so it's from an official source rather than Sinder putting it out? I think that might have been a better way to do it. So they could have been like, oh yeah, we'll make a post on V-cards right now to kind of specify everything so that, people can be redirected to it from you. But again, obviously that did not happen. Yeah, obviously this all happened from Sinder obviously talking about it on stream.
Okay.
So, that night I messaged Lily to apologize about what I did. After what happened with Numi 2 nights earlier, I was making an effort to be more open about things.
This is great.
Lily avoided saying
amazing.
I was the person who was leaking info or admitted I was who she was mad at. I was the only one who could have shared an incorrect price, and that was the one mistakenly advertising the early app pre-orders, and there were posts citing me as the source of all the leaked information. Shy Lily knew it was me, sounded pretty mad on stream at the leaker who was excited.
Okay, hold on. I'm kind of reading ahead. The info is not going to be available until launch. I'm assuming that Sinder got the information, because that's what she meant by it being confidential. They streamed not on launch day or before launch, And so she wasn't supposed to say any of that information, even though it's basic information. Okay, I'm getting this now. Again, none of this is as serious as they're making it out to be. There's no reason that it should have been this serious.
To be the one to spread stuff before her, but danced around it as if she was never mad at me. In the end, she praised me for having balls to reach out to her about this. And then they said, yeah, obviously, here's the message. And she says, oh, Cinder, don't worry. I had some annoying chatters telling me all the bunch of info I'd never released, and they're spreading lies and stuff in my Discord. Said, I also doubt you're the only one talking about it. So again, obviously, it seems like she's pretty forgiving about that. It said they should have clarified to you literally nothing you could have done about that. So, I mean, that seems pretty fair enough to me. So this part was...
Also, let's just take a second. This has nothing to do with anything. But take a second to, like, compare how Cinder types and these big, more professional blocks. I'm not saying anything. I type like Shiley, okay? I am like this. It's funny to see this massive block of text that's kind of more professional almost. And then Shiley
nothing you could have done about that.
Is speaking like how everyone speaks.
So, I mean, that seems pretty fair enough to me. So this part was a little weird on stream though, because today a lot of info has indeed been made public about a vCard and any additional information, so I hope no one caught strays. Hold up, yours and blank are the only completed pages after 4 boxes. Also, of course, I am still down to pull together tomorrow. I said, huge respect to reaching out. That takes a lot of balls, Lamau. I said, I appreciate that. I want to clear things up with you. I don't want that to be anything weird. As in another conversation.
This is great. This is exactly what Cinder should have done. Apologize for the thing. Stop giving out information. Let them do that. And we move on with the world.
With GamerSubs a couple of weeks later, we asked him to clarify to us what is and isn't able to be shared publicly going forwards after what happened during vCard's launch. I was told there wasn't really not really a certain source the launch info was supposed to come from.
Ooh,
and obviously,
okay.
yeah, they reached out to them, so fully understood. Very sorry for that. It was my fault. And yeah, obviously they...
Bam! Another thing. The employee took responsibility for that. It is completely taken away from Cinder and put onto the employee that took responsibility. Cinder is completely innocent.
Owned up to that. So the very last collab I had with Shiley was a few days after our vCard collab. Obviously there it is with Limu and Matara as well. So this was the first time either of us have messaged each other since our vCard collab on February 1st. I asked Shiley if she wanted to play Split Fiction with me. It was a long game that we would have been able to bond over while getting to know each other better. She told me she'd pass on the game, and that was fine. Then I asked Numi, who was also unavailable. She told me that Yuzu was interested, and I happily played through the game with her. So yeah, she turned down, obviously, an opportunity to...
This shouldn't... Anyways, this is more evidence. I guess this could be considered evidence of her skipping on collabs, but I really don't consider this anything.
Play with her, which again, doesn't seem too weird. Obviously, some people just don't have the time or they got something else to do, right? The last time Shiley and I spoke was when she reached out to me about disconnecting problems she was having with OBS, trying to fix my own disconnecting problems or what made me move back in my parents before. Obviously, Cinder, chat told me you had this specific issue, and obviously, yeah, there were kind of issues with her connection, and obviously it seems like they were getting along there. They said after this, there were 2 different repo collabs
maybe in Google,
Shiley and I were both supposed to be a part of. This was when I thought things started to change between me and Shiley. This was the first repo collab. It was originally going to be...
Sorry, Firefox.
15th, but,
hey, I use Firefox, be nice.
Was scheduled to the 21st. Shiley was supposed to be there, but decided to cancel last minute due to a Bikini Bottoms collab she was going to have that day. I understood just like everyone else, and this alone wasn't a problem to me.
Yeah, none of this... What was I going to say? Oh yeah, none of this is a problem to me. All of this seems completely normal. But, okay.
Now they go on to say the second collab never happened, but was being planned in the group chat. Shiley was added to the chat, but apparently couldn't make it shortly after. She never received messages in this chat directly before she was removed. These are all of the messages here. It never went anywhere after this. So yeah, it said, "Oop, Lily can't make it. She was removed."
Okay.
Then they say, from them, these are the rest of my DMs with Shy Lily. Below, I'll explain and the other events that are happening between them.
I'm gonna do you all a favor.
It says, do you want to play V
and just save you guys
soon? So
whatever.
The 28th of March. And she
The
said,
28th of March. You need an ad blocker now. 28th of March is the first Do You Want to Play?
all I found is super cute co-op games. Obviously, she's not replying to her here as it seems like. And this is like split up into weeks.
Okay. And then April 7th, about, let's just say a week later, another message. Still no reply after a week. Another week goes by, let's say. Let's just say whatever. Good stream, Lily. Bumping this in case you missed it. And this have a good stream happened after she raided her. And then she apparently Shy Lily didn't thank her enough. So 2 weeks have now gone by. And then another week and a half or so. So 4 weeks, a month. Is everything okay? And told you aren't the best with messages and we both get super busy, blah, 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 blah. So she didn't reply for a month. Now it's obvious that she doesn't like you. This is the point where it gets obvious that she doesn't like you. And so on this, being like the raid, let's see if I can skip to the point where we can get to the raid. Hi, thank you, whatever. My raiders. She said hi to my raiders, but didn't thank them. And she didn't thank Sinder. So I'm gonna go in this view for this. Her whole point is Shy Lily didn't thank the raiders or thank Sinder. She said hi to the raiders. I'm gonna be so brutally honest. That's probably the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. That's stupid. That's so dumb. Cinder's stupid for this. If Tectone made this same point, if I say Eggy Raid, it's from Tectone. If I say Pyro Pup Raid, it's from Sinder. If I say Roach Raid, it's from Asmon. If you don't specifically call out the streamer, that's fine. You could thank them, but really, you're thanking the community for coming to be a part of your stream. So if you don't thank the streamer directly, I don't really care. That doesn't seem like a huge issue to me. The other thing is if you just say hi and not thanking the raiders, that's also not a huge issue to me. I don't understand why that's such a big issue. What's an issue is if you completely ignore the raid. If you don't thank the streamer specifically or thank the raider specifically, that's fine with me. Where the problems arise is when you completely ignore the raid, which she didn't do. She spent over a minute in a sponsored stream saying hi to the raiders. What did you do during the stream? All of that. So Cinder's point is probably the dumbest point in this entire thing.
Reaction from Shy Lily.
Her saying that she reacted coldly is her being paranoid. Shy Lily didn't actually do anything. Sinder was just paranoid during this.
Just because I raided, I was working on a model. As a Red thought we might have to consider that we're competing with Shy Lily with the way that she was treating me and the fact that she was working with Nano now, similarly to how things were with Silverveil. I didn't agree in my mind. Shy Lily and
I thought we might have to consider that we'd be competing. Okay, so Red thought that.
And I weren't going to be competing for anything, and this would be another thing we'd have in common to hopefully bring us together.
Okay. So now this changes things. Red was competing, or in his mind, they were considering competing with Shy Lily and Silverveil and all of those. Cinder was not competing. I'm starting to see how Red was slightly manipulative, because Cinder did say that Red did make some moves for an exclusivity deal without Cinder knowing. Okay.
I was only concerned with why she would be upset with me lately and what was anxious about. The next day, Red went back to Nano to ask about Charlotte again and tell her what I've been experiencing with her. Said I didn't share any of the conversations above Cinder because there wasn't anything super meaningful or pressing that I thought she needed to know about. So yeah, obviously he said I followed up with Nano about, this is Red speaking by the way, about Lily because of the way she was acting towards Cinder over the past few weeks. It really seemed like Lily had a problem with Cinder. I didn't lie about anything I said here. Me saying ever since after the V-Card launch was because around them was the last time I remember the collabing and talking to each other. Like I said after, I remembered Charlotte saying it was too soon to get a new model around the start of the year, but I didn't consider the 3 to 4 months that passed when I said this. And obviously Charlotte changed her mind since then. So yeah.
Okay. This is just kind of Red being kind of dumb.
And then we go on to say, you know, between these screenshots, they were talking about something unrelated. So yeah, they're talking about who's rigging Shiley's model, and they're just like chatting with Nanoless here about Shiley. Did I
say information written on his plans because that's we have to stay competitive as in a general sense with the entire VTuber space, even when we shouldn't have to. With someone like Lily, who we thought was a friend, now acting this way. Okay. So the original context behind this, whatever, was that he meant in a general sense competitive, even though that was a stupid word choice. And this was just getting to know her plans, not scouting out the competition to see who they needed to steal. This is just knowing her plan and then making a general statement that they need to stay informed. Which is okay. That would have been a better word for this, Red. Is informed, not competitive.
Stay informed of Nano's plans because of who she is to us and our brand. So yeah, obviously they're trying to find out what else they are doing so they can kind of fit it into their schedule right. It wasn't either of us who had a problem with Lily or treating her differently for no apparent reason.
So Lily's the bitch.
With Nano.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that was the other guy. That was the other guy. Okay, I didn't say that.
I guess saying anything bad about Lily was a step too far for her. I don't know why, if she did think I was lying about Lily for some reason, she didn't ask me just to verify what I was telling her instead of leaking our messages. And obviously it says the demon is the oldest 2.0 model, so true. Well, we want to update the toggles and do a nice demon, whatever you guys prefer. Nano, we're brainstorming new design ideas. Are there any ideas or themes you have for Cinder's model? And then said, I still hadn't heard from Shiley, so I tried messaging Boeska.
I don't know who this Boeska guy is. Or girl, I don't know. I completely forgot who this is. But basically, let me save you. They messaged Boeska.
You can choose to raid the caravan.
Oh my god. They messaged Boeska to message Lily. That's basically what it was.
Oh, I'll continue the conversation for planning things in the group chat. That's why I asked, but not to worry. Boeska told me that Shiley rarely uses Discord and only uses it for business meetings and stuff, which was weird. This was out of order anything together. And I just wanted to hear her from I just wanted to hear from her since I had no idea if something was wrong. Nothing else was ever said in this chat.
So for to plan any time. She's very occupied in the coming months. It's okay if she's not interested. So she kind of, in my opinion, went a little far with this. Actually mentioning the collab idea to somebody else to mention to her. Okay, that was a little far, but she didn't actually do anything wrong here.
So yeah,
in my mind,
I'm free to plan any time. So yeah, that's all of that. They said Boeska told me that Shiley would be very occupied in the upcoming months.
Okay, and then there's this last thing. What else happens? This is more with the competing stuff. Okay.
stopped getting replies, and eventually then obviously the documents came out. It seems like she's made multiple efforts to try and talk to her and, you know, say, hey, what's wrong? Like, did I do anything? And obviously, yeah, then she...
Okay, yeah, so Shy Lily's cold. She's cold. She's cold. So Shy Lily's the cold one. Okay. Yeah. And then as soon as Nano brought up all these lies, then she jumped at the opportunity to amplify it as much as possible, tell everyone for whatever reason. Okay. But she genuinely believed that these lies were real. Okay, cool. So that's that. I don't think...
push it and things. So again, it'd be interesting to see if she kind of goes...
See, what I'm interested in is if Shy Lily makes another response. That's what I'm interested in.